Now, in today's video, I will take you on a landscape photography adventure where I get some absolutely gorgeous autumn pictures and even do a bit of wildlife photography. But first, somebody has offered to buy my YouTube channel and I might be taking him seriously. Let me just show you this email that I've received. So it comes from Marios. The email address marios454554@gmail.com. So immediately you can see it's legit. And the subject is interested in buying your YouTube channel. So you can see straight away why I would click on this email. And here's the message. We are offering $200,000 for complete ownership. Now, I don't know if that's US dollars or if it's Canadian dollars. We are paying first via bank. Although it needs 10 days for funds to clear, you will receive receipt stating is non-refundable. We need all Google associated once paid. Let us know. Well, I don't know about you, but that is highly tempting because if I had $200,000, I could put down a deposit on a woodshed in Vancouver. So you could see why I might be tempted by a very generous and very gracious offer like this. But to be quite honest with you, I'm really bad with money. So I need your advice. Please do me a favor and post a comment below to let me know how I should respond. Should I accept this generous offer or should I just continue running my business the exact same way that I've been doing for the last 8 years? Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to mention that today is the last day of the sale for Make Great Shots, which is the best landscape photography course I have ever created with Blake Rudis. So if you want to download that today at a discounted price, there's a link in the description below. Right, let's crack on with this adventure where I make the best out of a bad situation.
As we drove down the road, Amanda spotted a photo opportunity that was just begging for the telephoto bazooka.
Amanda is my eagle spotter. She can spot eagles. When I'm focusing on the driving, she's looking for wildlife, and she just spotted this eagle way off in the distance. This is how far away it is. So you could see just way over there, hopefully, this tiny little dot in this tree. And it's a perfect opportunity for the 400 to 800. This is probably the first proper bit of wildlife it's ever photographed. So I'm zoomed all the way into 800. Now I could get closer and really fill the frame with the eagle, but then you wouldn't have all of that beautiful fall color that you could see behind it. I really wanted to capture that, you know, put it in the scene, but we'll see. If I get a bit closer too, I'll probably have to angle up and then I would just have it, you know, backlit by the sky. That probably wouldn't be as good. But I think I might be able to get a decent shot from right here. Anyway, I'm just filming some video now and we'll just sit here and wait.
You really like that long lens, eh?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
So, no kitchen this year?
But it's a nice lens though. But the pictures. Well, let's check the crumb catchers for some snacks. I'm a bit hungry. Right, let's see what we got. Oh, look, some crisps. I love crisps. Yeah, just love that. Salt and vinegar. Right, let's see what this bird's doing. Well, not much.
What have I married?
I just love specky snacks. Come on, bird. Do something. Not very active, these eagles, are they?
What I was hoping to capture with this raptor was its majestic launch into the wilderness. Yeah, any minute now.
All right, well, we've been waiting here quite a while, and clearly I don't have the patience to be a wildlife photographer because I'm feeling the need to move on. You know, as soon as we leave, the second that we peel out of here, he'll dive off of his branch in a magnificent display of magisterial gorgeousness, but... All right, 5 more minutes. I'm just recording video. I'm just letting the video run, and then it'll capture him when he jets off, but just jet off.
Well, I'll never win Wildlife Photographer of the Year if I can't even find the patience to wait for one bald eagle.
It's funny, you know, you think I'm going to get a 400 to 800 millimeter lens. I'll be able to shoot anything, get right close to the wild action, but no, I'm still nowhere near filling up my frame with this magnificent bird. So I'm at 800mm, and I've still had to put the camera into crop mode to get that little bit closer, enough to frame up this shot. But to be fair, I'm probably 400 meters away from this bird, so you know, I'm probably asking a bit too much. But what kind of lens would you need to fill the frame with just the bird from this kind of distance? Post a comment and let me know, because probably doesn't exist for this camera. Might do for Canon though. All right, I think it's time to go, love. I've got no patience for this. Are you ready to move on?
I thought you'd never ask.
Just 5 more minutes. You know, what's another 5 minutes?
Nah, I was only joking. It was time to pack up the camera and get back on the road, because we had a little hike planned for sunset.
Alright, so we've come to an old classic. You've probably seen this spot before. Gypsum Mine Trail. And the only reason why I wanted to come today is because this is probably the best colours I've ever seen here, and the light's really good. We've got some cloud and sun. So I'm hoping that we're going to get that dynamic stripy light, and then when the light hits the beautiful colours on the mountains, it pops.
Oh, yeah.
And then if we've got a calm lake reflection, then I should get a rather delicious shot. Oh, we've only been on the trail 5 minutes, and already I've got to peel off layers. I'm way too hot, but we're almost there.
Do you think that eagle's still on that tree from earlier?
Who knows, love? Who knows?
Yeah, he's still there, perhaps to this very day.
I am worried though, because as we're getting closer, look at this. Those doomy clouds have vanished, and now all we've got left is a bunch of thin wispies, and I did not want that. Didn't hike all the way up here. This slog, this arduous slog of 10 whole minutes just to see blue skies.
But blue skies is what I got. But on the plus side, the autumn colours were delightful. And look at that, a beautiful reflection.
That's pretty good. Shall we make it to the top and see how horrendous the graffiti is? Let's hit the rope.
Amanda decided to completely ignore the rope and show off her athletic prowess. I was impressed that she did all of this wearing a parka. In spite of the blue skies, it was actually really quite beautiful.
Everything's perfect except for that blue, boring sky. That's what Photoshop's for, isn't it?
So I got busy and set up the camera for a nice vertical composition.
Well, it'd be rude not to take a shot, so I'm going to frame up a nice vertical shot, which I think would have been fantastic if I'd had some of those grey clouds in the top of the frame. I'll explain what I'm trying to go for and explain how I'm going to try and fix it. Alright, so hopefully you could see here. Let me just get rid of all this stuff. So I've got this amazing pinnacle, this gypsum pinnacle off to the right here, which is somewhat blocking the lake reflection there. But I feel like you just need something other than this hole, this giant hole in a hill. So I like the sort of, that just counterbalances what you're seeing in the background. And of course, look at all these beautiful colours that you can see here. And then the small little mountains in the distance. But when we arrived, those grey clouds that would have filled that space, that would have been the perfect amount of space for that shot. And I'm probably gonna have to focus stack. I'm quite close to this rock here. That's no big deal. I think I can probably get that in 2 shots, 3 at the most. Now you might notice for the hawk-eyed amongst you, there's a polarizer blob there. So basically I'm focusing on the background. I'm taking that shot with that polarizer doing its thing. And then once that shot's in the bag, I just turn the polarizer a bit so there's no blob. And then I've got a nice clean sky, underexpose it a little bit, and then take that shot. And then it'll just be a quick thing to blend those two together so that I don't have the polarizer blob in the sky, but I do have that nice polarization of everything that you could see in this valley, which is really popping the colors and the contrast. Anyway, if this turns out to be an absolute 1 out of 10, here's the shot.
Now obviously I did a sky replacement and I love how it turned out, but I deliberately left in one very obvious mistake. Post a comment if you can see it.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but nothing enhances my enjoyment of the natural world than an exquisitely sprayed tag. Just right where I would probably want to compose my shot to have a nice foreground. It just adds so much to the wonderful zen-like state of this place, the tranquility. So, shall we just get back to the camper and eat some chicken?
I think so.
Is it chicken o'clock?
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to admit that we did buy one of those pre-cooked lard chickens.
Well, it doesn't get better than this, does it?
But it did. That 85% dark chocolate has more bitterness than people who unsubscribed from this channel.
Alright, so we are suitably stuffed with rotisserie chicken. And I think there's nothing else to do, love, except go to bed, is there?
Exactly.
And it's our 4-year wedding anniversary. Can you believe that? 4 years.
I can't.
Feel free to post a super thanks.
For putting up with you for 4 years. Or is it the other way around?
So the plan is, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock?
At least you're paying attention. It took a few seconds. No, we'll probably just get up at, I don't know, 6-ish, 7-ish. Depends what time we get to sleep.
It's 7:30.
Is it 7:30? We're such a couple of old farts. That's normal for us. Bed at 8. All right, so I guess this is good night. We'll see you at coffee o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, it's 6 a.m. I've actually had a good 6 hours of sleep, but I do have a face like an overbaked quattro formage,
What's that?
a 4-cheese pizza. And I've enjoyed a lovely breakfast of chocolate. 85% cocoa. It goes so well with my coffee, even if it is decaf. But I think we're just going to wait for the sun to pop up, get some light, and then head to see if this waterfall has got any water. The good news is there's no wind, not like last time when the camper was rocking, wasn't it?
Bad.
I wasn't even sure if the park would be open.
Oh yeah, it's open.
Yeah, let's just get in here.
But the road into the park was a little bit, well, let's just say it might knock your fillings out. We were the only people there so early in the morning, so we parked up the camper and prepared for disappointment.
All right, let's see. Do we even have a waterfall? All right, the moment of truth. I've been waiting a whole year for these conditions. Actually, a bit longer because I don't think the colours have ever been this good. It does not sound like there's much of a flow. Sounds like a feeble trickle to me. Which could be pretty, but could also be kind of lame. Let's have a look. I don't even know if I'm going to bother getting my camera out. That's just sad.
It's just trickling down.
It's just weird that, you know, we've got these drought conditions so late into the year. It's almost November and it's ridiculous. Look at that. So one thing that I've noticed since last year is this tree has fallen down. That was standing this time last year and it had a nice little root system, just barely hanging on. So I don't know what's toppled that, whether that was wind or maybe there was a heavy water flow during the spring. But that's kind of sad because that was a nice feature. But now it's just kind of opened it up completely because I like this root system here as a framing element. So before I would have that on one side and then this tree on the other, just framing the falls nicely. But I guess that's gone now. So got to rethink my compositions, but without any flow, I don't think it's worth shooting. Yeah, I think it's time to just move on to plan B, love.
What, the pub?
Not the pub. Maybe that's plan C though. But no, a grueling, extremely steep hike.
Oh, sounds delightful.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So we trudged back to the camper, somewhat diminished, but I did have one ace card up my sleeve.
What I'm going to do now, just as I was driving past, I saw this really nice reflection on the river. with some trees kind of arching over, beautiful coloured trees being reflected in these reflecting pools. Because the one benefit of having hardly any current in the river is that you get these gorgeous reflecting pools. So I'm going to go and have a butcher's at that, see what that looks like, and then we'll do this big climb up the hill. So here's what I'm looking at. This is quite pretty here. So you've got this collection of trees here, and then this collection of trees. So as a cluster, they might make a lovely reflection. So I'm going to get down on these painful looking boulders and see if I can frame something up that's underneath of this power line, because I don't want that in my shot, so I can't shoot it from here. So I've got to get a bit lower. We'll see what we see. All right, now this is my absolute favourite kind of landscape photography. And by that, I don't mean trees and reflections and autumn colours. What I mean is I've got the luxury of time, because there's no wind, the light's really soft, it's probably not going to change that much in the next half hour, and there's just nothing to interfere with my peace and tranquility. I can hopefully take my sweet time framing up a delicious composition and just enjoy the moment, slow down and really get into it, as opposed to something like a sunrise or a sunset where you're kind of in this frenzy, a photogasmic frenzy, which is great, I love that, but I love this so much more. All right, so for this shot that I'm basically envisioning, I don't think the 20 to 35 is going to work. It's too wide, so let's get this 35 to 100, probably get it into about 80mm, and I reckon that will be the perfect focal length. We'll see if I'm right. All right, I think I've framed up quite a delicious shot. Let me just show you the back of the camera and explain this composition. All right, let me get rid of some of this business. I'll just underexpose it a little bit. So as you can see, I've gone for a square crop. And I just love that I'm able to fill my frame with this beautiful curve that you could see. So maybe I'll brighten it up a little bit. There is the curve in the tree itself, and then just below that is the reflection. And then to the right of the frame, you've got this, what looks to be, I think this is a dead tree that's kind of fallen over, and it's just kind of creeping out of the edge of the frame here. But I love that there are 3 trunks attached to this whole collection. Maybe it's one tree, maybe it's 3 different trees. So you've got, on this side, you've got this tree which is very much healthy and alive and producing tons of colour. And then on the right, you've got this arrangement here which is on its way out. But both of them are completely surrounded by this gorgeous golden colour. And that reflection is just about perfect. And the reason why I've gone for a square crop is just to get rid of any unnecessary empty spaces. Like if I show you the full frame, I'll go back to the full no crop, and you'll see that little things creep in that I don't really need. Now I could totally clone that out, but it doesn't really matter. With this camera, even though I put it in a square crop mode, I've still got this full frame. So I could always just keep that full frame and then clone that out. But there's just something so neat and tidy about this square 1x1. I just love the clean simplicity of that. Anyway, if this first shot of the day turns out to be any good, here's the shot.
Well, after shooting this square frame and then watching this video about 50 times, I might be tempted to go for that full uncropped version in the end.
All right, now that I've got that frame, what I've done is I've zoomed out a little bit, and now I've changed my aspect ratio to 2:1, 6:12. And I don't know, maybe I like this one a little bit better. Let me show you what I'm thinking. I'll put me specs on. All right, so now you could see, because I've zoomed out, it has introduced a little bit of the sky being reflected there, but I know I can clone that out, no problem. But by zooming out, what I've done is I've brought in some more tree forms, and they're just so nice. They frame this central part of the composition really beautifully. And I don't think by zooming out I've made this any less apparent. I feel like this whole cluster in the centre, it has more form and it has more colour. So that's still what the shot is about. But just by zooming out and bringing in a little bit more of the background, it just gives you a bigger scene overall. But not so big that I'm letting in too much of that. So I'm just going to cheat a little bit and clone that out. But what I do love is how you've got even more dead trees in the background. So it's almost like on this side of the frame, there's so much life and vibrance. But then on this side of the frame, these trees are struggling a little bit. So you've got this contrast between the two. I really like that. Anyway, I know this won't be hugely different to the first shot, but if this one turns out to be any good, here's this shot.
So maybe I didn't get my waterfall shot, but as a consolation prize and a surprise in general, I'll take this shot any day of the week.
Well, after all that hard work, I'm quite hungry. So let's see what's in the crumb catchers. Oh, look at that! Chicken wing from last night. Brilliant. Oh, that's just what I needed.
What have I learned?
No refunds.
I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. You really help to keep this channel going. And if you're interested in becoming a patron and joining my monthly critique sessions, there's a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.